Get ready for your unofficial dental hygiene podcast. These are the tales of two hygienists, one East Coast RDH and one West Coast guygienist. Listen as they tackle the profession of dental hygiene with humor and enthusiasm. Now, please join Michelle Strange and Andrew Johnston as they tell you a tale of two hygienists.
So listeners, this is Michelle from Tale of Two Hygienists, episode 84, and I'm running this one. And I have brought my friend and buddy, Kara, RDH, Kara Vavrosky. Did I say that right?
Vavrosky. It's close enough.
Vavrosky.
Yeah, it's a
Grew up
doozy, I know.
every last name.
Everybody does.
I'm sorry.
Everybody
But welcome.
does. No worries. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I mean, anyone can replace Andrew, but you're exceptional.
Don't tell Andrew that.
So do you know though that the reason I'm bringing like you on, I've had Carlos Rodriguez, who is a male hygienist who I did the interview with for this segment or this episode, and then also Peter Ganji, who is a guygienist for ADHA. I'm bringing everybody on because you saw on your thread that Andrew's a big fat liar face, and told me that it was not his birthday, and it really was. And I told him he could be replaced.
Yes.
This is
me
replacing Andrew.
I saw that firsthand. I mean, that's not nice. You can't call somebody and say, hey, by the way, it's not my birthday. Facebook messed up. Yes. I don't think Facebook messes up. So yeah.
I don't know why I believed him. I don't know why I took it with a grain of salt. I was like in the moment of a crazy day, and I was just like, oh, I saw it and got like panicked and was like, oh my God, I totally forgot his birthday. That's terrible. I'm a terrible friend. And then he's like, no, buddy, it's in August. I was like, oh, yes, thank God I don't suck. And then to come find out like it is his birthday and everyone's wishing him happy birthday. And I'm like, oh no, it's not his birthday, guys. Y'all are so funny. It's not his birthday.
He's a turd. So yeah. Today I love him to death, but yes, he is being replaced, and I'm gullible too. So
I can't believe it. I can't believe he got me, but he did.
He did, but he's actually still a good guy. We'll give him that.
I know. That's why I keep him around. He doesn't suck. Only occasionally. Only occasionally does he annoy me to no end, but he is a good guy. So happy belated birthday to Andrew.
Yes.
And I'm only going to pretend to replace you on this episode.
Sounds like a plan.
Right? So I'm super excited. So I just actually left GDHA, Georgia Dental Hygiene Association, and we were all talking about next meeting coming up, which is RDH Under One Roof. And you're going to be there.
I am. I'm looking forward to it. It's a fun conference.
Isn't it though? People have likened it to like the Super Bowl of hygiene conferences.
Yeah, it's literally a party every night and during the day. I mean, walk around with wine on the floor,
exhibit floor, right?
Products, yeah.
It is. Not a party every night. You are so right.
Yeah.
So what night? So Young is having a party.
That is always the one I'm most looking forward to. I know this year they're doing it at the House of Blues because it's going to be in Chicago. So that's because I know like at midwinter back in whatever, February, March, whatever it was, I went to the House of Blues the first time. And wow, yeah, I already know the next day I will be useless, but
right.
It'll be fun though. Young always does a really good job. And every night there's a party and they're all going to probably be great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It is a good time. I haven't been to Chicago in the summer though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right?
It is. Well, and here's the thing, like some years, like during midwinter, like there'll be feet of snow and it's like -10. But then like last midwinter, it was like
it wasn't bad.
Kind of nice out. And so, but then like in the summer, like I've also gone and it's been like it is in Washington or Oregon. And it's like just kind of nice, mild with a mild breeze, like not humid at all. but then I've been there where at 7 in the morning, it's so humid. Why did you take a shower? So,
Oh, yeah, that's my life here in South Carolina all the time.
see, right? And I am not used to that. Like here, the Pacific Northwest, like yesterday, we'd consider it humid yesterday. It was like in the 90s and humid in quotes. And like I don't tolerate it. But so it'll be interesting to see what the weather is like. Now, luckily, of course, we're inside a lot, but
Yeah.
boy, oh, Chicago and the humidity. Woo-hoo.
Yes, and you're right. Luckily, we will be inside. Except that I do enjoy like seeing the daylight. Sometimes these meetings, especially when you are stuck inside all day, like the exhibitors, I'm just like, is it raining? Is it sunny? Tell me about things.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Oh, I so feel you. Yeah, because you just feel like you're kind of in like this enclosed cage. I totally feel.
Yes.
Well, and whenever you go to a conference, like you have to go and see the city. It would just be nice if you weren't dripping sweat when you were
When you do
doing
it,
so.
right? I know.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So are you going for funsies or to network or to take classes? What are you doing at RDH?
I am actually going to attempt to take classes. I always say that. Now, mind you, I have signed up for your class because that's one of the
That's
because a lot of the
right.
yeah, so a lot of the classes there, like you don't have to sign up for. It's just first come, first serve. But there are some that are workshops and blah blah that you actually kind of have to pay for and sign up for. So I did sign up for your. I think it might be the day after the young
I
parties.
think it might be, and that makes me a little concerned now for all of us.
Yeah, so I thought I would throw that out, but I did sign up for that. But no, I'm actually going to try and take classes. I mean, I'll make it to one or two. Sometimes I won't make it to any, but a lot of times it's, like seeing you and like seeing, all the other friends you have that it's like the minute you get together, it's like no time passed.
Yes.
That's the greatest thing. I mean, yes, there's a learning and there's seeing the new products and that is all great, great, great. But the friends part of it, like you can't beat that.
That's so true. You're right. And I do enjoy like the networking part when we get there and you see your like almost like your tribe. And I hate saying that because it seems so
Yes.
cliche, but it really
So true.
is. It's so
Yes.
your people. And even if you are like a newbie, um, you find your people and it's so easy to find them.
Yes. 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 I so agree with that. I mean, and it's funny once I hit like not talking about classes, but when I'm like, when you're on the floor of where the booths are, what is that called? What is that called?
Exhibit
The
floor?
floor. The exhibit floor. There we
There
go.
you
That's
go.
what I'm looking for. It's like I'm on a mission. I am on a
Right.
mission. I know where a lot of people are, and I'm like, we have to go here. We have to go here. We have to. And it's again, like I said, it's like no time passed. And whether we talk about dentistry or not, it's just the people. And I'll tell you, like like you said, the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very standoffish. I'll be the first to admit that, kind of with the industry in quotes. But when I found my tribe, they are so near and dear to me. So yeah, I love the conferences because of that.
Well, you know what's so funny, and I think that's a really good point to bring up, is that you you can get, especially if you put yourself out there, we are not like the most easygoing bunch of people. Like our
Oh,
profession
right.
is not easygoing. And I just put on another. So there was I'm in a dentist forum, and we talk about this sometimes on the podcast, where there are occasional hygienists that are in here, but it's majority dentist. And somebody put a picture of something and they were berating this person, and somebody got on there and was like, this guy actually had like an injury and you're literally just tearing him apart for his midline being off. Like he got hit in the face with a baseball. Like he looks amazing or
Oh.
something like that. It was some kind of traumatic thing. And my comment on there was, I'm actually kind of happy to see that hygienists aren't the only ones that eat their young or eat their like a
Yeah,
bunch of cannibals, because
right.
you guys are being ridiculous right now. And somebody posted on there like, oh, just out of curiosity, what sets off a hygiene forum? Like what makes the claws come out? And I was like, I don't know, is the sky blue or green? Like it could be anything. The
That's an understatement.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
So it's nice to when you have that as like that's kind of the norm for you sometimes when you do find the people that are actually like get you, understand you, lift you up, or can play devil's advocate in a way that makes you see a different side of something. Like
That
you're
isn't
right.
berating.
Yes.
Yes.
You do
Yes.
hold them near and dear to your heart, and you can definitely find them when you go out and network. And it's not always in your office. Like you're in like literally how much further could you get away from me? Like we are so far apart logistically.
Yes.
And then, I got like people in all these different states, but I can call them, I can talk to them, I can message them and feel either supported or they call me on my stuff, which is
Yeah.
nice. And it's not in my
Yeah.
state. It's not in my state. It's not in my town. It's not anywhere. So it's these meetings where you can meet and cultivate these relationships are huge. They really are.
They are. And and I downplayed it for quite some time, about, oh, well, yeah, I'll go take some classes and yeah, networking and blah. But when you actually do it, put the effort in and you find the people that are just awesome. Like, I mean, for instance, like I get a lot of questions from hygienists. Um, I will be, and I said this on the podcast that I was on with you guys at Midwinter. I don't have all the answers. Nobody does, right? And so to have people to go to be like, look, I need help. And it's a vulnerable thing. Like, I need help. I can't find it online. I can't find it here. I've looked here, here, here. Um, but to have people that you can, know that you're not going to be judged for asking a question. It's tough support. It's great. It's great. So
It
yeah.
really is. So, if we say anything about this episode, it's that networking is so important and that you got to build a tribe if you want to be in this profession and you don't want to just clock in and clock out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
Agreed.
have a tribe.
Hashtag agree. Yes. Yes.
This is awesome. So let's see. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything like fun and interesting. Normally I tell Andrew all my life stories, but I don't really have much. I was at Georgia Dental Hygiene Association with Elijah. He was speaking, Elijah Desmond, if anybody doesn't know who that is, which if you don't, you're probably under a rock, but because he is all over the Facebook. He was speaking before me and I spoke about implant maintenance and that was a really great one. I like the Georgia Dental Hygiene Association. They just passed legislation, which is great. So they can work under, I think it's general supervision, and they can actually go
Oh,
into
good.
alternative settings.
Oh, good.
Right?
Good for them. See, that's
Yes.
what the state level, I'm telling you, AD, that your state level association, that's what it's there for. That's what they
Yep.
do.
And they were really pushing it. And I go back and forth on my ADHA associate, just being a part of it because sometimes I don't feel it, but then sometimes I'm like, these things happen and it's like you absolutely have to support them, especially your state.
Your state. Yeah,
You need to support your
absolutely.
state, be a voice, and because it was a lot of these hygienists that were really pushing it for a while, and it's exhausting to do that. I can't imagine.
Oh, it's got to be. And I think they're volunteers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and they're just literally they're doing it for their love of their profession and the love of their fellow hygienists, really, just
Yes,
to move the profession forward. So, oh yeah, good for them.
I
That I love
know.
that.
So good job, Georgia, on that one.
Yes.
Progress the profession as much as you can. I think
Woohoo.
they're working on anesthesia. I don't know if they
Oh,
got that or
good.
not, but I think they're working on it. Sorry if I'm
Good.
wrong, Georgia. I know I should have asked while I was there. So all good stuff happening, and it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I I'm always it's kind of like the same thing for me day in and day out, writing and this and that. But the as far as life goes, I'll tell you, my dogs are my life. If anyone follows my Snapchat, and this is so horrible. I kept it off Snapchat, but one of my dogs was due for her vaccines, and
Yeah.
I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not anything like that. I'm telling you, when you have a 6-pound dog and you do them all at once, that's not a good idea.
No.
Um, we had a sickly in the house. I mean, she
Oh,
was sick. And so anyways, that was what my couple days have consisted of. Otherwise, I tripped to the beach. I'm only 2 hours away from the beach. So
that's nice.
you went to the beach. You went to the beach today.
I'm like 20 minutes from the beach. I don't even want to like
Oh,
like
ah,
like it's like a
shame
normal
on
thing for
you.
us. I know.
Ah,
I tell this
yeah.
story sometimes. I have lots of friends with boats. I don't own one because I don't want to deal with the maintenance of it, but I have lots of friends that have boats, and anytime friends come in town, I'm like, let's go. I'll call my friend. We'll go on the boat. And we have like these sandbars or islands, and we run the boat up against up on the beach, and then like it kind of parks itself. And then we get out, and
Nice.
we're drinking beer, and we're playing games, and we're like sitting in the water. Dolphins are playing in front of us, all kinds of stuff. People
Oh.
are like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Like, how often do you do this?" And we're like, "I don't know, like every weekend."
Oh.
And
See,
they're
like
like,
I can do that at rivers, but like
"Yes.
actually we don't, we're the Pacific, like
Yeah, it's
North
different,
Pacific.
right?"
Yeah, we don't exactly have dolphins. It's cold. It's like don't feel your feet after 5 minutes cold. But
So, which is
yeah.
the complete opposite, because right now our ocean right now is like bathwater.
Oh, see, our rivers are, but our ocean, oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like I've been whale watching out there, and there's not a chance I would get ever get in that water.
Oh,
It's
it's
so
so cold. When I
cold.
was there, I think I was there. Was I there yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before? Well, that's really bad. I don't even know. But there was this guy, he came up because we're standing at the beach, blah, blah. He comes up and he goes out to go surf. And I'm like, you're crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, because it's full dry suit, the whole thing. Now, mind you, it's 70 degrees out, no wind, nothing. But the water's like 50,
Oh, oh,
45.
hell to the no. What?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
50 degrees?
But our no, but our rivers are a good 72 right
Oh,
now.
okay.
So yeah, it's yeah, the ocean here is a little different.
Very different. Totally different coast, man. That's what happens.
But it's awesome because we're still friends because of guess what?
Absolutely. Because it,
Conferences and networking.
yes. Thank you, because you meet people and you just stay in contact and it works out.
Yeah, and then friends of friends meet because you all kind of are into the
Yeah.
same things. Yep, exactly.
So I was like in Missoula with Nicole Schreiber and Christy
Yes.
Bailey and Lewis Myers and Karen Schreiber. No, wait.
Siebert,
Siebert. Thank you. I was like mixing all the names up now.
love her.
Um,
Yes.
right? They're all amazing. And I wouldn't have known
Yes.
them without like being out there and at these conferences. And they're just good humans. I love all of them.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so how did you have a great time there?
Oh
They
my
keep you really
gosh.
busy, don't they?
They do. Missoula is beautiful. I hiked so much. I saw so many beautiful things. It was a great time. And it was wonderful to see actually how the instruments are made. Can't beat that.
Yes. Yes. Well, and it's neat because I mean, you literally talk to the people who are literally doing it.
The
Like
thing,
right
yeah.
now.
It's
Yeah,
almost like it's like farm to table, but
yes.
like scalar
Yes.
manufacture to mouth. Like I've seen how it's gone, like it was done.
Well, and it's true. Like just think of the handles. Like it's like these big, huge, like plastic poles to
And then
start
they get
with.
shaped down.
And then all of a sudden leaving the factory is like a complete ready-made like scalar. I mean, it's amazing to see the pieces and parts and yeah, neat experience. That's
It
neat.
is. Have you ever watched that show, how this is made or something?
Yes.
That's what it felt like.
Yes.
You just
Yes.
never
And
think
it, what
about
is
that.
that? Discovery or History Channel? Yes.
Yeah,
How it's made. Yes.
it's awesome. Well, I don't actually want to take up all of your night because I'm so grateful that you came over here on the podcast to like replace Andrew.
I'm always down for replacing Andrew. It's cool. And actually me and Andrew, we live 10 minutes from each
I
other,
know.
so that's what makes this so funny.
Yeah, which makes it even better because anytime y'all get together, he always like sends it a message to me, and I was like, "You're doing it out of spite. You're being spiteful." And so now
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Oh no,
spiteful.
we actually did. We went and saw a movie. What movie did we just see? Oh, The Big Sick. Yes, we saw that a couple nights ago. I did with
Oh,
Andrew and his wife Allison. Yeah, so it's weird that we live right
so
down
close.
the road. Yeah.
Trust me, Kara, every time he's throwing it in my face. Don't you worry.
Move here. That's all.
Yeah.
Just move here. Let's put that out there.
Yeah, just 50 degrees scares me though. 50-degree water, not gonna lie, scares me.
Oh, just numb your feet. You're good.
Right? Well, I do appreciate it, and I hope everyone enjoys this episode, sans Andrew, even though I know he's going to be very annoyed with me for trying to replace him. That was kind of the point of the whole thing. But this episode is going to have two guests. We're not doing our typical segments. So Peter Ganji was nice enough to come on and just kind of talk about himself and who he is and what he's doing in dental hygiene. I can't get over how many guygienists have been around. Like both Carlos and Peter have probably been in it double what I have.
That's awesome, though. That's
Right?
awesome.
Like, where have these men been hiding? Come out of
Right?
the woodwork already. Come out. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's safe. We won't ridicule you. I'll be your best
No,
friend.
we love you. We embrace you.
Right? So, and then Carlos is a super cool dude. He is in Georgia and he is doing comedy, stand-up comedy. But he's a hygienist. But his like side gig is comedy.
I
Isn't
love
that
that.
crazy? He was hilarious. He's super funny. I bet his patients are rolling on the ground every time they see him.
Oh, yeah, best dental visit ever.
Right? I'm sure. I'm sure they love coming. And he did say that, like they love coming back to see him. So I can imagine. He probably makes oral health fun and funny, whereas I make it like super serious and boring.
I'm with you there.
Right? Too sciency. But we do appreciate everyone listening to Carlos, and he will give you his website and everything at the very end, and also Peter.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's time for the interview.
Oh, but I had something else to say.
We need to let the experts talk now.
Fine.
So what I think is hilarious, which you probably didn't listen to the last episode. Yeah, we're on. Like, we just kind of go into it. But the last episode, well, no, wait. The other day was Andrew's birthday.
Okay.
He lied to me and said it wasn't. And now I'm looking for new co-hosts. So I'm going to like audition you because I'm so pissed off at him for being such a big, fat, stupid liar face that I'm just going to audition for people.
That's
so,
hilarious.
and I love the guygienists. They're kind of my people.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm kind of a dude at heart, I think.
Yeah.
So tell the world who you are.
Well, my name is Carlos Rodriguez. I'm a dental hygienist at 21.
Dude-genist.
A dude-genist?
Guygienist?
Guygienist. I don't know. I don't want
You
to.
don't like that?
I don't want to isolate myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And it's because it's surprising enough to say, hey, I'm Carlos.
Yeah.
I'll be your hygienist
Hygienist.
today. And sometimes people just kind of stutter.
Mm-hmm.
And if I start trying to get fancy with it off the top, I'm a dude-genist. What's up, man? And
do you have many that don't want to see you because you're a guy?
I've had that in the
Really?
past. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Well, I'm a bigger dude. I've been told I look like an overweight Vin Diesel, which is not nice, but it's accurate. You know, so
People say the weirdest,
isn't
rudest
it? But
shit
if you
in
look
the world.
now, you see it, right?
Yeah,
You
now
know,
that you say it.
it's ridiculous, man. So, but
You
I'm
are Vin Diesel-ish.
But I'm very. I just got the bald head. That's it, and tan skin. That's all I got. I got.
Apparently, that's all that matters.
Yeah, evidently, it's like I'm like the pre-Slim Fast Vin Diesel. Anyway, I'm working on it. But I've had people go, I didn't want to see you because I thought you were gay.
What?
It's like homophobia, and I'm like, well, the dentist is the guy.
Yeah.
What's the difference? It's not we're not getting a massage. I don't know what kind of cleaning you
Like,
thought
what?
this was, sir.
People
but
are random.
I've had people ask me
really?
twice in 20 years. And true story. It was December 23rd, maybe 6 years ago.
Like,
2 days before Christmas. And the lady goes, listen, I've never seen a male hygienist before.
Hygienist.
And I'm like, that's because you're mispronouncing it. I go, what's your point? And she's like, listen, I got to know you're not a homosexual, right? And I'm like, I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly rude. And no, I'm not, for the record.
What's wrong?
My husband is. but I'm not. And then you can see the look of just anger and confusion on her face. I'm like, well, that's what you get for asking a stupid question. Yeah, I'm not, but I'm like, if you got the nerve to ask me some nonsense like that, I'm going to give you a hard time.
People are crazy.
I get away with murder because I wrap it in a joke or a little sarcasm. But sometimes, honest is the only way I know how to be. And
good for you.
Yeah, if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an honest answer. So, and sometimes patients, it takes them a second, and then they respect it. And I don't know if it's because I'm a guy and I'm saying it in an authoritative tone.
At least that's my thought process. Yeah,
I see my female coworkers, and they get a little bit more grief from people.
Really?
And it's like, I tell them stuff, and it kind of sinks in. I don't know. It's not fair, but
it's not.
But
it is. Yeah, sometimes it's the game you have to play. That's why I say we have to be so educated, because if they come at us with thinking like, oh, well, did you even have to go to school with this? Like, we blow their freaking minds, right? Just know everything that you can know and blow their mind, and they won't question you later.
Right.
Like,
I've heard. Well, my sister's doing that. She's taking a 6-week course, and
no.
Yeah, no. She's.
My
not
friends
a
call me a dental
I'm
assistant just to annoy me.
Oh, I know that. And nothing against assistants, but
no, because I am one. I'm a surgical assistant, but
that's what I did.
I'm
when
like,
I was
have
in the
a
Navy.
6-year degree, assholes. Like, get out my face. Are you sure you're not dying out here?
No, I'm
you feel
totally
good?
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
So, just to kind of give the audience like what's happening, Andrew had this whole SD card nonsense. We didn't have an interview this week. So, Michelle to the rescue, the better half of the podcast has to figure this out. And I'm really annoyed with Andrew this week, if anybody is not catching on to that just yet. So,
pick that up.
I'm here at the Georgia Dental Hygiene Association annual meeting in, where am I right now? Duluth, Georgia. And I went to dinner with Elijah, our buddy Elijah Desmond, on, what was that, Thursday night. And I come to the hotel, and he's meeting you afterwards. And I was like, well, dude, you seem cool. Let's have a podcast, because you're doing something that's out of the normal.
Yeah.
Tell us, so you're a hygienist. How many days are you practicing?
5.
Shut the front door.
I know.
Dude.
Yeah, 5. And
all right. So then on top of that,
I'm a comedian. Legit comedian. I work at the Punchline downtown, and and I do corporate comedy shows. I'm doing a show at I'm so sorry. It's at a country club tonight.
Oh, fun.
And they're raising money buy some guy a new golf cart. I don't know. Whatever it is, I just want to perform.
Whatever their first world problems are.
Yeah,
they're
whatever
getting
their situation
some kind of
is.
replacement.
And I've always been attracted to comedy. I've been a student of comedy since I was a kid. I'm a little bit older than I look.
Well, what did you say? The fat pushes out the wrinkles?
Yeah, that's you have no idea how old I am,
Because the wrinkles are filled up.
Yeah, it's, my mom has a friend. She's she's super friendly, but almost like too friendly. Yeah. Bordering on a bit cougarish, you know what I'm saying? And she's got to be like 80, you know what I'm saying? And she's always grabbing my arms. I don't know what her deal is, but she's like, man, if I was 20 years younger, I'm like, you would still be too old. You would still
let's just be honest here.
Mom, talk to your friend, please.
Help me.
And she goes, every time I see you, you look younger. What's your secret? Botox? And I go, Botox? This is cholesterol, baby. What are you talking about? So this is bacon. She's like, do you rub it on your face?
I ingest
it. No,
and it pushes the fat pushes the wrinkles
3 strips
out.
a day.
3 strips a day.
So I just make fun. I mean, I'm trying to, health is an important thing. That's always been my
levity
weakness.
is a very needed thing.
I don't drink or smoke, but I like a cheeseburger every once in a while.
Well, then your vice is cheeseburgers. My vice is wine.
Okay, everybody's got their thing.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing. And thank God you're with me, because I am the funnier one of the podcast.
Okay.
So you're in good hands here.
Yeah, I feel comfortable. We're sitting. outside.
So what the thing is that you're doing with Elijah, though, like you're doing lecturing, but in a stand-up comedic way.
Well, the thing is, again, I've been a hygienist for 21 years this summer, and I started doing dental in '87, right out of high school.
All right, so like I didn't get that information. So you started in '87, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
1987, right out of high school. 2 weeks later, I was in boot camp.
What made you want to go do it?
Well, my best friend Doug and we spent every day together since we were 10 years old, and he lived a couple blocks away, and we would just hang out all the time. His older brother joined the Navy and was a dental technician. Mm-hmm. That's the job classification, and it's a dental assistant, whatever it needs to be done, kind of thing. And then they also, that's straight Navy, and they also have. The Marines don't have medical or dental people.
Okay.
They have tank guys,
right.
gun guys.
Yeah.
But they don't have any medics. So the Navy will, since the Marines fall under the Department of the Navy, they train some dental assistants and medical corpsmen, is what they call them, like medical assistants, to work with the Marines. So after boot camp and dental assistant school, I was sent to a third school, which was specialty schools. Field medical service school is what they call it. So basically, like in the movies, when the Marines get shot, I'm the guy that runs up with the bag and patches them up and that kind of thing. And when we're not out shooting at people, we're doing cleaning teeth and assisting. So it was crazy fun, though.
What a way to multitask, man.
I was just like 18-year-old kid from Puerto Rican kid from New Jersey, and you're going to hand me an M16? Are you crazy? You know how awesome
and a
this
scalar.
Is? Yeah.
An M16 and a scalar.
And so we would train, and it was like camping with machine guns. It was fantastic.
Wow.
So I was already a dental person, and that's all I know how to do. Is teeth and tell jokes. So that's pretty much it, man. So I had to. So I've always wanted to stand up. I've always thought it was like magical, like how they can just. It felt like they were just coming up with the stuff right off the top. And when I realized it was just a well rehearsed act, it polished over thousands of hours of them practicing. I'm like, well, I can do that, you know. And one of my buddies pushed me. Who's a dental assistant, my buddy Camille, and he's like, just sign up and go. And this was several years ago, and it's one of those things. It's like cheeseburgers or wine. It's a hell of a drug. And once when you're the one by yourself with a microphone, with the lights in your face, and you got 200 people laughing, there's nothing like it. Really,
no.
You know what I mean? And the bigger the crowd, the better.
Well, and I say that as a speaker, like there's no high. Like one coming off the stage after you know the audience got it. Like they understood it. It was good. Engaged. Everything was going so well. Like PowerPoints were going off on time. No technical. Like there's no high from coming and then people are like, I learned so much. Like that's a good feeling. So I can imagine like having even like rolling laughter, tears running down their face. Like how good that would make you feel.
Like if someone chokes or starts coughing, that's like.
That's your goal?
Yeah, I don't want to kill anyone, but I do want people to
have a
hard time breathing.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
And then if something happens, I got CPR, so I got you. So,
right? So what do you think that has so we have new students, grads, people that are trying to move either get out of the op, like with some of Elijah's stuff.
Sure. And
maybe they're looking at doing the speaker circuit. So do you have maybe little pearls of wisdom for some of these people that are getting in?
Well, to be honest and to be 100% transparent, I'm new to the dental CE speaking thing.
You're on the stage, so that's a
I'm not
thing
afraid to speak, and I just need to. I'm fine tuning as I go.
Absolutely.
So. The goal is to deliver useful information for me in a lighthearted, easy to digest package.
Right.
Some of the information we get is very technical and very
it's
dry,
super nerdy,
but there's
and
no reason you can't wrap it in some candy. You know what I'm saying? And just make it a little
candy-coated science.
That is all I'm saying.
Candy-coated science should be the name of your.
And I can't be serious. It's almost to a fault. It's annoying sometimes, and I don't get in trouble, but it's annoying. sometimes, you know. My wife was like, okay, listen, I need you to be serious for a little bit. Just turn it off.
Right.
And
I
I'm
dated
like-
a guy that was like that, and he was, my friends were always like, I don't know when he's joking and when he's not. And I was like, he's never not.
Right.
So take everything with a grain of salt.
Right.
Don't believe anything he says most of the time.
I had a patient yesterday, and I've seen her half a
Mhm.
dozen times, and I know her kids, her adult children. And she goes, so what's new? She's like, what movies have you seen? I go to the movies a lot, and I go, I caught that Planet of the Apes. She goes, what'd you think? I go, I thought it was a little long. I thought it could have been 25 minutes shorter. By the end of the thing, I didn't care if all the humans and the monkeys died.
All died.
Yeah, let the birds take over. I don't even care at
right?
this point. I go, and then I just use that to segue, and my mind wanders, and I'm like, I thought I wanted a monkey until I saw that movie, like as a pet. Because how cool would that be? Like he could get us both a beer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a horrible idea. It's a horrible idea. But I also wanted to at some point be rich enough to have like a giant saltwater tank with a dolphin, just so I can frolic.
With a dolphin.
You know how cool that would be? To have your own dolphin. I think it's illegal.
That
but
literally would have to be like the size of this hotel.
That's why the
Last
rich
night I was
requirement.
down the street having drinks, and I met a guy who was Lebanese. He was trying to buy us drinks, and he was, I don't know, some carpet guy, multiple stores. He's like, how big do you think my house is? And I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking god awful big, like
ridiculous.
ridiculously, stupidly big.
That's not a topic of conversation.
Oh,
no.
this was like a ridiculous night last night.
Okay.
So he was like, how much? Guess. And I was like, I don't know. Okay, 6,500 square feet. He goes, 13,000 square feet.
Shut up.
And I believe this man because
Okay.
he was that ridiculous. Like, I
Okay.
believe he would go to the nth degree.
Right.
And I kept saying, I was like, tell me the most ridiculous. Like, you have a bowling alley in your house. Like, tell me something stupid that you have in your house so I
Right.
can make fun of you. But I feel like a
doesn't
saltwater
have a
tank
dolphin.
will be. He doesn't have a dolphin, and
Okay.
I wish I had known this beforehand.
I
Because
would've
that's the
been jealous.
standard at which I would have held him and hope that he had. I was like, you're nothing until you have a dolphin in your house.
Yeah. You know,
Damn it!
how
Where was
cool
this
would that be?
conversation? Yes.
And this is a random fact. It has nothing to do with anything. I don't know if you knew there are pink Amazonian river dolphins that are smaller than the gray bottlenose.
I was unaware of this information.
Yeah.
Thank you. My life is enriched now.
There's no real purpose. I just wanted to just throw that out there.
Random
I
shit.
don't know why I know that. I just have random stupid knowledge.
When you were in hygiene school and like you were taking all these tests and stuff, like did you ever just wish that you could like empty your brain of the nonsense? Because I was having like the hardest time like studying for some of these things, and I'd be like on my way to a test, and I'd just be like every word to every song I knew, and I was like, get out of my head! I have shit that I need to remember. I need to remember morphology. I need to remember perio.
Yeah.
Like, get the hell out of my head.
I liked it. It was kind of personal with me. You
Hygiene?
know, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's cool.
had to do it. I had to.
Yeah.
My wife was still in the Navy, and I had a 2-year-old when I started, and she's 25 now. But I didn't. That wasn't an option for me to not
Not
succeed.
learn it?
Yeah, and I had to learn it
Yeah.
fast. So I took
I just
it
wanted
super
the nonsense
serious.
out of my head. And I was
know.
like, I
didn't
cannot
do
have any
anything. I didn't
room
watch
for your
TV,
nonsense.
movies, nothing.
Nothing?
Just
Studied like
straight
crazy?
hygiene, yeah.
Equivalent.
I did well though.
Yeah?
I did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think anyone that's actually still in it and like trying to progress and do things outside of, they probably did pretty well in school, except for Andrew. Andrew apparently sucked in school.
Well, I've never met Andrew, so
Andrew's a terrible person.
is it?
He's gonna listen to this and be like, "I never let you do a podcast on your own again."
Yeah, he wasn't even here to defend himself. The poor guy.
He lied to me, and I'm very angry about him about this. So what else are you doing in your life?
I don't know. I do. I don't know. I'm at a weird place right now because I'll be 48 next month,
Mhm.
and I'm doing.
Are you younger or
Thanks.
older than Vin Diesel?
I don't know. I want to say older.
Okay,
I don't know.
just curious. Just wondering which came
I
first.
should know that. I know about pink dolphins, but I
But
don't
you
know
don't
how
know
Vin
your
Diesel is.
doppelganger's age.
You know? Idiot. That was. All right. You see what I'm saying? It's useless knowledge. I don't know. And I'm doing stuff that is firsts. And a lot of people my age aren't doing
things that are
new
first.
things at this point. And I've just been very, very lucky to be able to do what I love, which is
Doing a podcast.
I know.
Sorry.
How dare you?
Like, whose loud ass car is that?
That's got to be a motorcycle.
You think?
I think so.
That's
I hope
ridiculous. There's
That
no
guy's
need
got to
for
have
that.
hearing damage.
Right?
That can't be good for you.
And a small penis.
How loud is that? Yeah, probably. The
I'll
louder,
edit that
the
out.
louder it is, the
smaller the penis. Yeah. So what are the other firsts that you're doing? So you're doing dental speaking, but what else?
I'm traveling a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just got back from Cancun with
Elijah?
Yeah. And I figured it was hot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was gonna be that hot. You know what I mean? It was
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
In July
Oh.
in Mexico.
Like every lungful was about 80% water. Like
Just straight humidity.
Just the humidity
breathing
was
it
off
in.
the charts.
Yeah.
And these guys were walking around in long pants.
How do they do it?
And I don't know. And the pool was warm. What is that all about?
Well, I mean, have you been to Charleston? Like, our ocean's kind of like bath water.
Ugh.
Like, it
needs
really
to be
is.
refreshing somewhat.
It is not. It is not in any. I mean, it's slightly cooler than the temperature outside, but it is
I see what you're saying.
nothing refreshing.
I was in Florida
about
last weekend.
It's kind of
and,
like that,
yeah,
though.
but it was cooler.
Was it?
It was cooler than that pool water. I can say that
Oh,
much.
well.
That was ridiculous.
So everybody's peeing in that pool.
Oh God, you're probably right though. You're probably right.
They're spilling their drinks, their stupid body heat, they're peeing.
Oh.
How murky was it when you got out of it?
They nuke it with I don't know.
All the chemicals?
Yeah, the chemicals. So
At Smiles at Sea, the one that I went on, literally we were up on like the top deck, and there's like a small pool down below, and you could throughout the day just see that pool water getting murkier and murkier. Like, you didn't see those people leave. Drinks came to them, but they never got out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not healthy for any of us. I don't need to be swimming in your urine.
No, that is so gross.
It's so gross. Gross. Okay, so why are you doing your first now? Like, what made you decide to do that?
What's
all
that?
This stuff.
The speaking thing?
Speaking, and you're talking about maybe doing some repping and doing the booths and stuff.
Well, it's like I said, like I'm getting a little bit older, and my eyes are starting to, it's a little bit
It's hard
harder.
on our bodies.
My back is getting a little weird, and I think that it's been good. Hygiene's been fantastic to me. You know, what I mean, I got my wife through nursing school. My daughter, she's
Your wife's a nurse and you're a hygienist?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love the tag teaming of health.
So we have dinner in scrubs sometimes. It's ridiculous. And my daughter's in med school. I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah, so she's in her last year right now, and and my son specializes in getting tattoos and playing video games. So, they can't all be doctors. No, he's a real smart kid. He's like me, he's smart, but he's lazy. And
the babies of the family, though.
And mama protects him, but he's a real good kid. But he
can't get in any trouble because he's playing video games all the time.
He's definitely spoiled. And my house is the house to hang out at, so
yeah.
I got it set up like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like Xbox, PlayStation, widescreen. I'm
How
surprised
old is he?
He'll be 21.
Oh, yeah.
He's taking classes online and working part-time. So, I mean,
Figure it out. He'll figure it out.
He doesn't have a wife or kids. I'm like, dude, enjoy your life. You know what I mean? So
do what you gotta do for right now.
Yeah, get it out of your system.
Right?
Yeah, I was 20.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like right out of high school. Like,
damn.
She recruited me like I was Kobe or somebody. You know what I mean? She's like, come on, this is what love feels like. Sign on the dotted line.
Let me have your babies. Oh, my Lord.
She's awesome, though. She's a good girl.
So, what is your, as in a clinical setting? I mean, you're seeing patients 5 days a week. I don't even know how you're doing that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Were you working more in specialty or restorative general?
Just general.
General? How long have you been there in that practice?
In that company, about almost 17?
Wow.
18, yeah.
That's crazy.
Dent First in Atlanta.
So what's your favorite kind of patient to see?
It's weird, and I'm sure, I don't know, not to sound arrogant, but I can get along with anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like me, there's something wrong with you. You know
right?
what I'm saying? Because I'll match. It's sort of like some of the things cross over between dentistry and stand-up comedy. Like, if you go to a church and it's 80-year-old people, you know to adjust your material and your energy level, that kind of thing.
Read the room.
You got to know your audience. If you go to another room and it's 30 to 50-year-old couples, then you do your marriage material. And then if you got a bunch of young hipsters, then you spice it up a little bit. If you're in a rough part of town and it's late night show, then sometimes you got to get a little salty. So you got to know your audience, you know? And same thing with dentistry. Like I find, you know, if I got a young 20-year-old guy, hey, what's up, buddy? How you feeling? You know, that kind of thing. But if I got his grandmother,
be a little more respectful.
That's yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And talk a little bit slow, lower the energy a little bit, and just be real. Okay, and I'll just sit there and just talk to him. Yeah. And I think, honest,
that makes it
a lot of them just come in. Just to find out, hey, how you doing? How's the family? How's your, nice. You know, and it's cool. Like I don't want to say fans. That sounds weird, but you know, like they're friends. You know, like I've seen them for 10, 12 years, so it's like you know everything about them. So that's kind of where I like to do.
So do you like drop one like a joke? Do you have one joke that like helps you read the room? If you don't laugh at this, then I'm probably going to tame it down. If you do laugh at this, then I'm going to take it.
I like to see how
salty you can get?
The relative intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Like, and this is based off a true story. Like, I got into a small accident, and I needed to get a rental car while the car was in the shop. And I get to the place, and they rented my vehicle. And I'm like, well, I need to get to work. What's the deal? She goes, well, you know, we rented your car. We're going to get you a free upgrade to an SUV. I go, I don't need an SUV. I drive all over the Southeast. You're going to kill me in gas. And she goes, don't worry about it. You're going to love it. It's a Hyundai Tucson. And I go, oh my God, you just became part of my act. And I go, what's a Tucson? You know, in my mind. And I'm like, do you mean Tucson? And if you don't laugh instantly, then you might
have been calling it Tucson yourself.
Yeah. So I said that one time, and it was at a bar. My buddy was hosting this open mic, and I go, really? Is this? I didn't know it was Enterprise Industry Night. And bunch of morons, but it was that type of environment where you can insult the audience because they're, and then you see them slowly start to, the light switches start to flicker on, and they're like, oh, okay.
I see.
Oh, and
I love when the comedian like makes fun of the audience. Like that's probably my favorite thing.
It's weird because when I'm on stage, sometimes they don't believe I'm a hygienist. And most recently, I had a
you are definitely not the stereotypical hygienist.
There was a table, and they go, no way, you're not a hygienist. I'm like, well, why not?
I'm like, test me.
And that's exactly what happened. He's like, we work in the dental industry. There's no way you're a hygienist. I'm like, well, do you guys want to see them test me? Quiz me. And everybody's like, yeah, all right.
Let's do it.
So he goes, what's 24 and 25? I'm like, come on, man.
Like, come on.
So I answer that, and then the hygienist sitting behind him goes, well, which scaler do you use in the posterior? I'm like, oh, you're trying to stump me with some scalar stuff. So I answer a question.
I was like, well, sometimes I prefer 17, 18, maybe a little 13, 14
and it was so satisfying to shut them up. I mean, the looks on their faces was priceless.
I love it.
Later on, I have a joke about a guy who wanted bleaching, but he only had 4 teeth. And I'm like, come on, sir, we're not bleaching 4 teeth. Come on, man. And he named them. And I'm like, what'd you name him?
He named his teeth?
Yeah. He goes, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I'm like, did you just name your teeth New Edition, sir? The band from the 80s? You need to cool it down now, Mr. Telephone Man. We're not bleaching these. He said, don't be cruel. It's my prerogative. I said, sir, every little step you take needs to be towards that front door. You know, that girl you're bleaching up, she's probably poisoned.
Like Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so I number the teeth. I go, 23, 24, 25, 26. And I look at the table and I'm like, and the place just erupts. And it was the right time at the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway.
So do you do a lot of your act with like your patient stories?
Well, yeah, sometimes, you know.
Because there's some good ones.
Yeah, you can't use actual people's names.
Right.
But
situations.
Or I'll take a composite of like 3 or 4 odd people and just blend them into one crazy person.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
Just make it over the top. You know, it's exaggeration and hyperbole is what makes it funny.
Well, I'd like to think that would be such a great like environment to train the audience on how to behave in a dental office.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like I go just so you guys know, there's things everybody complains about going to the dentist.
Yeah.
It costs too much, it hurts, but you know, no one ever hears
this
what we
side
complain
of it,
about.
Right.
Like for instance, when we're running 5-6 minutes late and we call you and then you go, can I use the bathroom? I'm like, no.
No.
You had 5 minutes. You got to hold it for the next 45.
Yes.
And you don't do that in real life.
But that's
on stage, it goes. It works. So.
What about the cell phones?
Oh.
The whole time, not opening wide enough.
Yeah. Well, I got a bunch of stuff.
Clamping on the suction so hard that you're like. Do you have tonsils still?
Me and a couple buddies shot a small, short, kind of funny movie. It's like 9 minutes long. It's called Be Patient. It's on YouTube. So.
All right, Be Patient on YouTube. Look for that.
And I got some clips on stand-up. On my website. You got to check out the website. It's fantastic.
You know what? I had an idea that I always wanted to do. You ever seen the movie Waiting?
Which?
It's like servers. It's like life as a server at Shenanigans restaurant, and it has Ryan Reynolds and Justin Long in it. Yeah. And it's like just the
Dane Cook was in it too, I think.
Was he in it? Yes, he was the cook, and they were doing the bat wings
that's so
and
gross.
all of that disgusting stuff in the back of the house. But I always wanted to do something like that in dentistry, like the doctor assistant sleeping together, the animosity between certain people,
the passive aggressiveness.
Yes,
I'm
just gonna leave. I'm gonna look at her instruments in the sink. I know those things need to be bagged, but I'm just gonna look at them.
I got a friend. I'm not gonna name names, but her thing is notes.
Oh.
But like passive aggressive notes.
Yes.
Like, who left this empty box, and she'll stick it on the box. And I'm like, just chuck it, man,
Yeah.
And or at least sign the note.
Oh, we're real good at the passive aggressive side.
And I'm like, so what I'll do is just write a real wise ass comment on the thing. And I'm like, I don't know, or
Yeah.
hell no, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Just
something.
Just because I know it'll annoy her, and it just
even more.
It makes me giggle, So.
I know. Sometimes you got to get those blows in somehow. I used to work for a doctor who I would come in and I'd have sticky notes everywhere.
That's insanity.
And it's shit like, I know that you text a lot, so you probably have the autocorrect, but when you write isn't, make sure to put the apostrophe, or make sure that you're capitalizing the C in ClinPro. I was like, you were lucky I got that shit on paper. Like, I was busting my ass yesterday. I didn't leave. I didn't eat lunch. But damn right, I will capitalize the C in ClinPro.
Yeah, because that's super important.
I mean, I have a Snapchat one day. I was like, one's on my locker, one's on my computer, one's on my hygiene drawer. I was like, someone's going to die today.
Yeah,
someone's going to, I'm blowing this place up. One more sticky note, and this place is going to go kaboom.
Sometimes you got to strangle people, man.
Okay, right?
That's just like,
smack them around.
It's like I don't know. I have fun. I joke around with my patients, but honestly, a lot of it's for me, for my entertainment. Just because all you did was the same thing all day long.
Yeah, I know.
And we have a lot of fun. You know, and I have people coughing up, spitting water, and just because
you're just dying.
I've never had this much fun in the dental office. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not as pretty as the
That's
other hygienist, but I'm funnier. So, I have people that like that. They come in just for the jokes. I swear to God.
Well, at least they're coming though.
Yeah, I'll
it's
take
better than most people can't get a recall to save their life.
But and it's sort of one of those jobs where you can't have a bad day. Everybody's got stuff in their lives, like spousal stuff, your kid's sick, grandma died, stuff happens, you're low on cash, whatever the case. Everybody's got stuff going on. But we're professionals, so suck it up, leave that at the door, stick it in your bag, whatever, and deal with it after work. But the patients coming there deserve your
full attention,
and the best that you can do. If you can't do that, just don't stay home. You know what I mean? Deal with what you got to deal with.
That's true.
Your house is on fire, or somebody's in a horrible car accident. I get it. Go home. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But somebody didn't take out the trash. That's not a reason to yell at your first patient. You know what I mean?
So true.
Let it go.
So how do you deal with all the girl drama in offices?
I don't get it.
You just don't partake.
No, like they.
I feel like you should make fun of them.
They tease me.
Oh, okay.
But because I have a particular set of skills that makes me dangerous.
Really, Liam Nielsen?
if we got into a verbal confrontation, I'm gonna hurt your feelings.
I'll make you cry.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut deep. So I don't go there. I
Good for
just
you.
don't go there. So, and especially, I mean, I got to come back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I don't have $1 million. I got to come back tomorrow. So I don't.
You're gonna be here
I don't
again
want to
tomorrow.
have HR giving me a call. So, I just take it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they're just teasing you because they like you. You know, that's how I deal with it. So, and I don't know. They call me the dent first diva. Sometimes I'm like I'm not a diva just because I want insurance verification done before.
Right.
That doesn't.
This is just.
I'm just trying to help.
This is how
everything
yours
flow.
should work. Right.
I just need some information.
Yeah.
You know? And
I hate for you to do your job.
And and again, it doesn't. I hope it never gets to that. But if it did, I don't.
They would go down crying.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You know.
So what do you see though amongst like a group of girls that happens the most? Is it the passive aggressiveness?
Sometimes,
that
yeah.
happens
Like,
more often?
The main thing I see, it's that's not my job.
Oh.
That's not my job.
Yeah.
Or are we out of this? Well, you didn't put it on the list. I'm like, but we order 3 boxes of that every month. Why isn't that on the list? It's just little stuff like that where it's like, I don't know if it's I don't have to, so I'm not gonna, or I see it and I'm not. I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but it's not all the time. But every once in a while, stuff. I'm annoyed for 5 minutes at a time, and then I let it go. You know what I mean?
Life's too short, right?
I'm annoyed a lot.
like 5 minutes,
six times an hour, but it's for 5 minutes at a time. But what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I'm already. I already shaved my head. I can't go any bolder. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, and I'm not gonna let these idiots kill me. With stress.
Right.
So,
Right.
I just incorporate it into my act and just seriously.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this shit, because
some of the stuff is most of my act is based on reality. Like some things are embellished and exaggerated and stuff, but it started off with a hint of truth, and and I don't know. You can say stuff on stage that you can't say in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, again, especially when I do the late shows, but when I do my corporate thing, like tonight, it's got to be a clean show. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. How much time do you need? 45 minutes, an hour? He goes, 25 minutes. I'm like, all right, no problem. I got some new stuff I'm working on. Like the stupid,
test it out there.
The dolphin, like I'll sandwich it between stuff that I know works and just try it out. So that's my process. I write on stage, if that makes
fun.
sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
But the more you do it, the closer you are to hitting it on target. It's not like I'm in a year and I don't know what's funny or how to make it funny.
Yeah.
Like it's already kind of funny. If it makes me laugh, because I have a high laughter threshold.
Yeah.
Then it's
standards
funny. Yeah,
that has to be met for you to laugh.
And another thing, and I'm kind of a bit of a comedy snob. If I can figure out your punchline before you get to it, then it's crap. You need to rewrite because I shouldn't be able to read it. And I do that a lot, and I pick people's sets apart.
I'm not going to look at comedy in the same way now.
Yeah, no, it's a lot harder than it looks.
I bet.
And the hard part is making it look easy.
Well, and I will say the same. Like even going up and speaking, and like not making it so dull and so boring. And it's for me, like there are certain things that I say on like up there on the podium, and a room will die laughing, and the other ones I'll just get like a.
You can't worry about them.
No.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how what will kill one place and what won't, or even everybody's just own patient experiences. Some people don't have any experience with what I'm talking about, so they can't find it funny.
Right.
They just have no clue.
Yeah.
You just gotta
and some people are just
and they're
miserable.
Yeah, they're dull and boring, and
go out of their way to give people a hard time.
And they're like, teach me something, make me laugh. I'm like, get out of my face.
I saw a comedian last night at the club, and he was making fun of a guy sitting in the front row like this.
Yeah.
He was like, Mr. Cross Your Arms. He was like, well, last time I was here, I got punched in the chest. We're not doing that again, So, you know what I mean? So he was making fun of him sitting there. But that's a dangerous slope because it can go back and forth.
Right.
So if you get a heckler or somebody calls something out,
hecklers are the worst.
just let them go. I don't even address them.
Have you ever seen T.J. Miller?
Yes.
He had a heckler at one in Charleston, and I probably laughed at that harder than I did his whole set. He nailed, like, you can't mess with people that are that witty and on top
And
of
they
shit.
have a lot of people don't realize you're an amateur.
Yes.
They have a bunch of comebacks in their back pocket, just waiting for
Yes.
somebody to step out of line.
Like, please.
They're gonna give you a
Come at
hey,
me, bro. I will crush. It was the best. I laughed and laughed, and the more awkward that heckler got, the more I laughed. Like, it was so amazing. Maybe that I'm just a terrible person.
Well, no, it's you don't go to a concert and bring your own guitar.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
So
All
shut
right,
your
what's
mouth.
up? Yeah, let me watch my solo. No, sit there and enjoy the music, man.
Right.
You don't go to comedy and just try to, hey, honey, look how funny I am. Shut up. You paid good money to watch the show. Watch the show.
All right.
Have a drink, get some chicken wings, and enjoy the show,
Damn
man.
right.
I don't know. But, yeah, so if you're listening, don't heckle.
Don't heckle. Don't be that person.
Or
unless it's at Andrew, and you can always heckle Andrew.
I guess, yeah.
I'm sorry. You were hearing one half of
something happened. I don't know. There's more to this story.
He just lied, and
he didn't give you full information.
He didn't give me full information, then it made me look stupid.
Oh, okay.
And everyone else knew, and I'm like, oh, like, of course you wouldn't tell me a lie about this. I get it. And I'm the last to freaking know.
He set you up then.
He set me up.
Okay, yeah. That's at least a conversation.
So we're like an old married couple or brother and sister, and so I can't go a day without busting his balls. Like, it just has to happen. And then the fact that he is now fueled the fire, he's going to be crushed.
Sleep with one eye open is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
So what are upcoming things where people can find you? What's the website and like your YouTube stuff? Tell us more about that.
Well, I got a bunch of links on the website, and you got to check it out. It's pretty good. I'm impressed with my own website. I didn't do it though. I had to hire a professional because I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it would look like stick figures if I did it. But it sounds a little arrogant. Don't you know? It's kingofcomedyrdh.com.
Oh, okay.
kingofcomedyrdh.com.
Yeah.
So, and I have comedy buddies who are like, oh, so you're the king of comedy? And I'm like, no,
but
no.
RDH.
It says specifically, I think I'm the funniest hygienist, and that's a challenge. I'm throwing it out there. So, you know, let's you know,
Gauntlet.
we'll start a thing. But there's links to videos and pictures of me, different people and stuff like that.
If you want to see Vin Diesel's doppelganger,
yes,
you need to go to kingofcomedyrdh.com.
If you're into unfit celebrity lookalikes, tune in and watch. I got a new tattoo.
Oh,
I got two.
All right.
Recently. I got one a couple months ago because they're dentistry's King Comedy and RDH kind of thing, right? And then. Anyway, let me just show you. So, all right, so one's
it's literally a tooth
with a crown on it.
Yeah.
All right, and that's not what I wanted though.
You can tell they're new.
Yeah, well, this one's still healing.
Like scabby, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
It happens. I have tats
it's
too.
getting there. But the tooth looks a little. Looks a little creepy. He looks like
he looks like
he looks a little suspicious. You know what I'm saying?
Is on drugs.
Yeah,
he looks like a drug addict.
I don't. What is this? And I couldn't see it while he was doing it because the thing he drew, he looked friendly and approachable.
This one looks
a little rapey. It looks creepy, man. And I'm stuck with this stupid tooth. I'm 48 years old. I got a cartoon tooth on my arm that looks suspicious. That looks like a suspect.
Let me see it again. Like can you even make that better?
I don't know.
I think it's like that his pupils were looking in two different ways to me.
Really?
And the smile is like a little...
It's a little cheeky, right?
It's a little cheeky, yeah.
And then he made him look like me with the goatee. What am I supposed to do with this?
Oh, I didn't even see the goatee until now. But it's in the furcation, which really looks inappropriate. It looks like a cavity right there.
The whole thing's just awkward, you know what I mean? Anyway.
I don't want to cut down your tattoo too much since that's on your body for a really long time now.
I'm making fun of it. I brought it up, so it's all right.
So, kingofcomedyrdh.com. You're doing a Smiles at Sea stuff, right?
Yeah. Actually, next weekend we're going for a little opportunities at sea, and Elijah's always doing something. This guy,
he's all over.
He's like a rabbit. He's all over the place. And then in September we're doing the regular thing, his cruise to the Bahamas, I believe.
Yeah.
And then he's having me booked for 4 cities in
That's
Texas
awesome.
in October. Plus, I'm still doing my comedy things. I got a couple big gigs.
And you're working 5 days a week, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm doing Kennesaw State University next month. And,
very nice.
Yeah. So, and whatever you guys want to hire me for, so check out the website and. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming back and doing this with me.
No worries. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
you got a cool
pleasure.
story and you're doing something different, which is fun.
I'm trying. Just try to keep it light because dentistry is serious enough.
It is.
We got enough guys talking about
bigger
enamel.
Now. We got tons of assholes. So
and
we need somebody to be like, yeah. We're super nerdy. Well, thanks, man.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
No problem. My
so
pleasure.
kingandcomedyrdh.com and check out the videos.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Listeners, I want to tell you a story.
Nope, not this time, Andrew. Sorry, guys. We're changing it up a little bit since Andrew decided to fib to me, and I keep telling them that he can be replaced. I'm doing auditions in this episode. And next up is Peter Ganji.
So pretty much what we're doing is Andrew couldn't record this week because he's got life and he's trying to do his stupid MBA. He's so dumb. And so I'm like filling it with people, but also he pissed me off. So I'm like filling it with people that I was like, this could be your replacement. I'm auditioning people.
I love that. I am much better looking than Andrew, by the way.
So instead of
we could do the podcast as a video podcast,
and because Andrew definitely has like the Barry White voice, and so you could like be the face of the podcast. So let's talk about, because I'm not going to do the typical like segment kind of thing. So you're a guygienist. I want to talk about that, like how long you've been in it, what you've been doing, all of that, all those shenanigans.
Do you want me to go right now?
Go ahead. Have at it. We're recording.
Well, I've been a dental hygienist for 29 years now.
Really?
I graduated, from the University of Vermont. I know I only look 28, so it can be confusing.
It makes it hard. It makes it really confusing.
They're like, you were a hygienist from birth? I'm like, yeah, sort of. That's the way I feel because my family has been in dentistry since actually I've been born. My father was a dentist. My brother is also a dentist.
Really?
Yeah. And when I was a junior at the University of Vermont studying education, I said, how am I going to feed my family on a teacher's salary? And my father mentioned that they had a hygiene school there. He said, why don't you try dental hygiene? You can do that part-time when you're not teaching. And I said, oh, that sounds like a great idea. And so I went in to take the hygiene. I went to show up the first day of junior year, and I went into the hygiene department and said, I'm looking to transfer into this program. And the secretary looked at me like I had 12 heads. And it's like, you know where you are? I said, yeah, this is the dental hygiene program, right? But no guy ever transfers into the dental hygiene program. They had only had one guy in the history of the program prior to me. And so then I was met with a counselor who said, oh, well, we don't know. We got to see everything that's going on. And I told her that I wanted to graduate in 2 years with my education degree and my dental hygiene degree. And she looked at me and said, it can't happen. It's going to be too hard. And as soon as she said that, I said, I don't care if I have to stay in my fraternity house and study while everybody else is partying for the rest of my 2 years at the University of Vermont. I'm going to make sure that I prove her wrong. And I ended up there. I graduated in 2 years. I actually took some classes my junior summer. And to mix everything in, and I became a dental hygienist. And when I got out, my father told me what he would pay me if it was if I was going to be a full-time hygienist, and it was double what I was going to make as a teacher. So I said, all right, I guess I'm going to be a hygienist.
So you have the love of the education side of it plus the clinical side of it, which is perfect, though.
Exactly.
So have you ever thought about teaching dental hygiene?
I actually do teach dental hygiene. I've been teaching dental hygiene for 19 years. 15 years. In 2002, I started at Middlesex Community College in Lowell, Massachusetts, and I've been teaching clinical hygiene. Yeah.
Well, damn.
See, we have a lot in common.
We really do. You know what's so crazy is that, like, there's a whole world of male hygienists that have been doing this for so long, and I just can't even wrap my head around that.
Well, what's funny about the Mr. RDH concept that Raphael had came up with, ironically, I was Mr. RDH because since 2001, I've been very involved nationally with the American Dental Hygienists Association, being a delegate, an alternate delegate for many years, and then now on to trustee. But when I used to go to those meetings, I was the only guy. And not only that, I was a guy who would go to a microphone and speak in front of a room full of women and not be intimidated by that. So it would turn heads. People would say, is that a guy's voice? And they're like, who's this guy? And I became the man. That was my nickname at ADHA because I was the only guy who would really show up at these meetings. And whenever other constituents had male hygienists show up, they'd make sure that I got introduced to them and that I shuffled them around and showed them what's going on and stuff like that. But now, since Raphael has done this Mr. RDH, it's really exploded. So now at ADHA this year, you noticed how many men were there. And even last year's meeting, there was at least 25 male hygienists that were at the meeting, which was very impressive.
It's definitely growing. And I feel as if, like, the more people are out there on the floor, the men are coming out of the woodwork almost.
It is. Well, that's what's happening. Before, the men would just show up and not really say much, but now there are much more people that are active on the floor. They're getting to microphones. They're getting to speaking up in meetings and being heard, and it's refreshing.
That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's cramping my style. I used to be the man. Now I'm going to share it with other men, so it's difficult.
Yeah, I don't want to share the role. Well, now you know how the rest of it, like the female side of it, feels when I have to share the role with 98% of our dental hygiene population. It's all female.
Exactly. We also have something else in common. You have a dog named Lola?
I do. True?
I have a dog named Lola as well.
What? Wait, what kind of dog?
Yes, I have a little long-haired Chihuahua. She's the cutest dog in the whole world.
I have a short-haired pit bull. Our dogs couldn't be different.
Well, my dog, we took her to, we also had a semi-beach day today. We went to a coastal town in Massachusetts that's right on the Merrimack River and the Atlantic Ocean, and a lot of boats. It's like a harbor town, and there's a big pier, and there was 1,000 dogs, and my little dog was going nuts trying to intimidate all the big dogs out there.
I love it though. Like, my mom has a Dachshund, and that dog has Napoleon syndrome like no other. And my pit bull is just like, why is this little dog yapping in my face? Like, make it stop. I think it's hilarious.
It is funny. Every dog that we saw by, and I would be like embarrassed. Like, you get the dogs together. I go, please don't bring your dog next to her.
I love it. Are you like carrying it under your arm? Like, and if you wore a Speedo, it'd be
sometimes I do, but most of the time she likes to trot. She likes to walk next to me.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh, wow. We really do have a lot in common, though. That's crazy.
I know. You teach dental hygiene as well?
Yeah, I do. I've done that this will be, since 2008. So I'm going on almost 10 years. Next year will be 10 years.
I love the teaching aspect for the reason that it keeps me refreshed in what I do. I'm a clinical hygienist 4.5 days a week. My one day off, I do teach during the school season, and then I have my day off back in the summers. But it definitely keeps me balanced, refreshed, with the knowledge that I need to train new hygienists to go out there in the world and successful. It's awesome.
Don't you think that, at least for me, what it does is that they hold me accountable a little bit, because, they're like watching especially in the clinical side of it, they're watching every little move, every way that you sit, the position at which you do something, your fulcrum. They look at everything. It's like when you go sit down, I'm like, well, let me see, let me do my oral assessment. They're like, oh, so you're probing in this direction. I'm like, I didn't even know I was probing in that direction. It's just second nature at this point. They hold you accountable.
That's what I try to explain to them, that it's not a cookie cutter situation when you're in dental hygiene. In dental hygiene school, the amount of knowledge you receive is minuscule, basic. And when you get out is when you gain most of your knowledge in the world by experiencing 7, 10, 11, 12 patients a day, whatever it may be, as opposed to 10 patients a semester. Right. You're going to be gaining so much more knowledge and skill. And so the things that I do when I come over to help them, if they have a trouble scaling a certain part and I go in, they're like, oh my God. I said, well, you can't do this till you get out, because we're not training you to right. use your instruments these ways, because they're so used to being focused on, you can only use this in this specific area.
I actually tell them something.
I kind of try to train them that when you get out, if you do. Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I think there's a delay with our internet, but I think I teach them something so similar too. Like, I'm doing this, but I have, 12 years of background to do a fulcrum like this. You shouldn't be doing this right out of hygiene school. Like, right. Understand that, learn it. But I learned this with continuing education. I always tell them that. They're like, where'd you learn that? Continuing education.
Well, I have small hands. So when I got out, I took up, my father had a practice that was built with 2 full-time hygienists. Well, one had quit. And so he had employed temps to replace her till I got out. And when I took over, those patients were not scaled at all. They're just severe subgingival calculus. When I was in school, we were trained not to use the ultrasonic subgingivally because it could scratch the root surface, so we could never use it in clinic subgingivally. But getting out, my hands hurt every day from the scalings that I had to give. And finally I said, you know what, I have to start using this ultrasonic subgingivally. And I started using it every day, and patients would come back with healthier gums and tissue. And then within 2 years, they're like, oh, you can use ultrasonic subgingivally. It's supposed to be it's much better for you. All the documentation and proof it happened. But I had already done my little assessment because I was going to quit because a carpal tunnels. My hands were killing me from how many deep scaling. It was brutal. And now I find hygiene to be very simple with ultrasonics and stuff like that. It's much easier to scale teeth than when back in the day when you had to do it all by hand. And you couldn't use those subgingivally. It was a very difficult time, but that's where I learned most of my skill was working on very hard patients and day in and day out and getting them back and saying, oh, look at how well you scaled, or you missed certain areas consistently, then you have to work on getting those areas clean. And I tell them that all the time. You're not going to be perfect, but when you start taking sets of bite wings and you're missing 19 distal consistently, then you need to train yourself to know that you have to use instruments to get that area better, because that's a weak spot for you. And I think they understand that they get it, especially when I try to explain to them, when you get out and you've seen one patient for 4 hours consistently, now it's going to cut down to 45 minutes. You're going to have to be quick and skilled.
That is such a great example of why you shouldn't rely on what you learned in school, because it was such a short period of time that you learned that you should use ultrasonic subgingivally. And if you hadn't gotten that like knowledge or updates or education, like your hands would be dying, right?
Exactly. There was one thing when I have hygienists come to my office, we have a couple other full-time hygienists, and we've had some attempts. When they tell me, well, I didn't learn that in hygiene school. I'm like, that is the one thing. Exactly. I want to strangle them. I'm like, I don't care what you learned in hygiene school. You should have learned so much more since then that you shouldn't be doing it.
Thank you. So students, if you're listening, hygiene school is a foundation. Wouldn't you agree? It's a foundation,
Exactly.
and you build upon that. Like it's almost like building a house. The school is a foundation, and you can't live under a foundation. You have to build upon it and upgrade and do things throughout your career. It's always going to change.
I try to tell them that you should be constantly learning and improving as you go through life, and not only in hygiene, but you're going to learn through life, just living life and stuff like that. But it's funny being a male hygienist, though. You were talking about guy hygienists. A lot of people come into my office when I first started working and thought I was a doctor. So they'd say, "Hey, doc, great job." And after a while, I got sick of correcting them. So I just say, "Yeah, no problem." And my brother is always one to rib people. So he'd be in another room yelling, "He's not a doctor." and I said, "Oh, they kind of figured that out because I have a personality. So they figured that I couldn't be that."
So are you working with your brother?
I am currently working with my brother, yes.
Oh my gosh.
We have another dentist.
I can't even imagine working with my sibling.
It's not great. It's not ideal. My father was great. His personality and mine were very similar. But my brothers and I couldn't be more opposite. He's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One day he'll be in a good mood. The next day he won't. And when he's not in a good mood, you stay in your operatory and stay away from him.
Wow, that's crazy. So what does the dynamic of your office look like? Are there other hygienists, other assistants? Like how many people are in the office with you?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that. We had 3 full-time hygienists, 2 dentists that were full-time. One of the hygienists happened to be another dentist, another male hygienist. I got him the job. He was a friend of a friend, and he couldn't get a hygiene job coming out of hygiene school, and he was doing ortho assisting. That's what he had started with, and then went to hygiene school. So I told my brother to give him a shot. So he worked. So we were in a very weird dynamic where patients would come in and see 2 male hygienists and only 1 female hygienist. But he since fell in love, moved out to California, and now we replaced him with a part-time hygienist. We didn't need another full-time because business has been up and down with the economy and stuff like that.
Right. So. Yeah. I think we all felt that for a while. That is just crazy, though. Like, what a weird and wonderful dynamic. I'm sure not every day is great, but at least you can, like, rib the doctor and be like, so what? He's my brother. I can do what I want.
Oh, well, there's a lot of ribbing that goes on all day, every day.
That's awesome, though. I'm just, like, trying to picture that, like, dynamic in that office and how different that is than probably so many people's.
Well, what's funny is the office has been in practice since 1957. So I am literally working on patients who, some of the older patients saw me grow up in the office. I would visit the office and I was the little kid who came visited dad or whatever. And now I've seen their kids, their grandkids, their great grandkids. So the dynamic in my office by working there 29 years is I have some patients that are 4 generations of patients in that whole dynamic. It started out as certain families and they expanded to the size of our practice now, but it started out as groups of families and ever expanding families. So it's funny that when you talk about HIPAA and you can't talk about things with patients because all the patients in my office are related to everybody. Sometimes I don't even know that they're related because I miss the connection, stuff like that. So you can never in my office be talking about patients at all because somebody's going to be there who's related to somebody in my office. And so with patients like that, I talk to them. That's the beauty of my job, and that's why I love getting up every day is I go and listen to their stories. I'm part of their families. They're part of my family. They know everything about my family. I know everything about theirs because I've cleaned their mother, their grandmother, their brothers, their sisters. their great grandkids, all that throughout. And so busting on my brother in front of them, it's very easy to do too.
That's amazing though. But you're so right. Like, especially being in there for so long, like it's hard with HIPAA in those kind of offices. You really have to be careful.
Definitely. I mean, even today, the last week somebody came in and they said, "Oh, you work on my sister." And I'm like, "Who's your sister?" And then I'm like, "You guys are sisters?" And both of them have been coming to me for like 20 years. And
you
I didn't even know.
know.
I didn't even know they're related, because obviously they've been married and have different last names, and they don't come together. So it's hard to make the connection sometimes.
A lovely reminder that you need to keep your mouth shut and watch what you say all the time.
And that's very hard for me, being Italian and and from Boston as well.
Oh, double whammy, right?
Right.
So if you had like one piece of information, because I know Game of Thrones is coming on tonight and I don't want to keep you from that. I do appreciate you even like taking a moment, even besides me being late to this. So
the North remembers that, Michelle. The North will remember that.
Yeah, right. So if you had to think of like one piece of advice to tell like newbie hygienists, and even let's split it up, new hygienists or students, like they just graduated or students, but then also something that might good advice for experienced, seasoned, veteran hygienist. Do you have any advice?
Well, the advice for veteran hygienists is don't become apathetic. In our profession, it can become monotonous doing what we do every day. And you can just go through the motions and say, yeah, I left calculus there. It doesn't really bother me or whatever. But no, I try to be the best that I can be every day. And so, I mean, granted, there are days you get up, you don't really want to go to work, but you have to put forth the effort and make their mouths better, and make use yourself better as a hygienist. Young hygienists, I tell them, don't stop learning. You need to always continue to learn and improve your skills, because as we go on, I mean, when I first graduated, we didn't use ultrasonic subgingivally, anesthesia, forget it, all that sort of stuff. That never even happened. And since you look at the way our hygiene scope of practice has increased, now we're working independently. We're going to become dental therapists. You have public health dental hygienists.
Right.
You never know where it's going to carry you. So you need to always continue to improve your continuing education all along the way. And in Massachusetts, I know we struggled trying to get anesthesia. We could teach it in school. I taught it in school. When I was president, we introduced the bill to the legislature to get anesthesia passed, and we went to the dental society and say, listen, we want your support. I mean, I can teach it in school, my kids can give it in school, but when they graduate, they can't give it anywhere in the state.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't think it's going to pass. We don't want to support you. And I thought that was just outrageous that dentists weren't going to support something that could only improve oral health care in our state, not only our state, but everywhere. And we fought the battle, and we ended up winning, and we ended up getting it passed, and it became law. So then they had 90 days to put in the rules and regulations, which helped. And now we have anesthesia in Massachusetts. Now we're also looking to get dental therapy here. We've introduced the bill 3 straight years. We were very close last year. We had it passed the Senate with no opposition, but then it died in the House. And again, a lot of it has to do with the dental society putting pressure on legislatures to not allow it to pass, because they're fearful of losing money and patients, when that's not what this bill is all about. It's about giving people who aren't even getting dental care with some provider who can provide it.
Can't see the forest for all the trees, right?
Yep, exactly.
Sad. It's sad. Well, thanks for taking like a minute and coming on here with me. I'm sorry that
now that I know that there's a new job opening next as your sidekick, I would gladly I'll gladly step up and take over.
Thank you. At least, Peter, you can step up and not be the annoying Andrew. I'm kidding. Andrew lied about his birthday to me, and now he will pay for it in every which way.
Why? How did he lie about his birthday?
I asked him. It was on Facebook. Facebook gave me the notification hey, it's Andrew's birthday. And I was like, oh, shit. And I texted him. I was like, hey, Andrew, is it your birthday? Did I forget? I'm the worst friend. He's like, no, it's in August. And I was like, oh, well, that's so weird because Facebook's totally telling me that it's your birthday. And he's like, oh, that's weird. I'll look into it. And I totally believed him. And then I see on Facebook, all these people are wishing him happy birthday. And I was like, oh, but it's not his birthday.
That's funny. Oh, that is classical.
It actually is. I just lied to you. I was like, you are dead to me. You are dead to me.
Well, you can tell him that my birthday is in August, so I can replace him since you would like to have somebody.
Easily. You're just falling into it. He set you up for it, right?
It's like spokes in a wheel. Everything is meshing perfectly.
He set it up, man. It's his own fault.
It is. It's like that commercial you hear on the radio from Bob from Account Temps who came in and took over, and now the person who called in sick, the guy from the temp agency does his job much better than him. So, yeah, he's no longer needed. So tell Andrew he can take a couple months off if he wants. I'm available.
I will. Don't you worry. I'm making sure everyone knows about this. Awesome.
Excellent.
So is there a way that if people have questions about anything that you said or maybe little tricks and tips maybe that they heard but they want to contact you about, how can they do that?
They can contact me through Facebook, Twitter. I also have an email address, pmganji at gmail.com. And they can email me at any time. And usually everybody has my phone number too, but I don't need to give it out over there.
No, I don't think. I love it when people do that, but I don't know if I am that trustworthy to give.
Well, it's funny because I have so many patients that have my phone number that they text me. I have a toothache. What can I do?
Who are you?
Can I change my appointment? Can I do this? They text me on Facebook or Twitter. I need to move this? I'm like, okay, but we usually have proper channels for my front desk.
Right.
They know if they go to me, it'll get done. So it is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They can call me anytime, any day, whatever. I'm available. I'm always willing to help out new hygienists and old hygienists.
So either Peter Gangi on Facebook, GANGI, correct?
Yep. Or pmgangi@gmail.com. They can email me. Or they can email me through ADHA at peterg@adha.net.
Perfect. Even better. Awesome. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
I hope Game of Thrones is a good one for you tonight.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode with all of my friends, with Kara, Carlos, and Peter, sans Andrew. I know he was sad not to be here, but don't worry, I can obviously easily replace him. I'm kidding, Andrew. You're my best buddy. I'd never replace you unless you lie to me again, and then you are dead. We want to make sure everyone remembers that we will be at RDH Under One Roof. We want to see you guys. Thanks for coming up and hanging out with us. We want to go out. I want to drink some wine with you. And we want you to come and be on the podcast. And if you have great ideas for roundtables or people that we want to interview, please let us know. We love interacting with you guys. Also, don't forget to leave us an iTunes review. Those things matter for us. I don't really know why, but Andrew says it does. And I think iTunes says that too, but whatever. We always love the interaction on Facebook. Please help us spread the word, help people understand what podcasts are, how they can stay up to date with current knowledge, current evidence-based research, and the cool people that are in our profession. So thanks again, and I hope everyone has a great week. Bye, y'all.